Hello everybody, Paul Jennings here, and I'm here with another episode of Ask Jennings. This is episode 2, where I take some of your questions from online, from YouTube and Twitter and such like, and I answer them in this video. So, sorry it's been a couple of weeks since episode 1. I was on tour with the Red Hot Chili Pipers on the West Coast and such. No, the East Coast, I mean, two very different things. On the East Coast. So I was unable to make one because I was so busy. So let's get right down to it. The question I have first is from a user on YouTube called UNWVR. And his question is, the cajon in Germany seems to be a lot more popular and well known than it is here in Ireland, which is where he is. What are the reasons for the boom? Is there any in particular? Well, I mean, there could be all sorts of reasons that contribute to the fact of the cajon boom around the world, particularly in Germany and other countries like the Philippines, Brazil, now in America, the UK and such. I think one of the main reasons why it's being used in popular music is literally because it has a very drum set-esque sound, and a lot of drum set players are, you know, using it in place of a drum kit in acoustic situations. Another reason is probably because of its portability and its simplicity. It's a simple instrument that sounds great and can fit into many situations, and I think that is the reason why people are grabbing onto it and going, yeah, I want one of those. Second question is from Barbara Holmes. Do you have to sit on the cajon, or could you play it on a stand in front of you? Yes, you can. The traditional way is to sit on it, of course, but there are cajon stands out there that you can buy. Just Google cajon stand and I'm sure a few of them will come up, and yeah, you could totally do that. There's a few different players that do that kind of thing, and I've actually considered doing it myself. That's Isla, the dog. So yeah, go for it. It's if that's something that you want to do, totally do it. Next question from Jeff Vuertz. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I'm not. How's the bass response compared to a normal cajon? Is it still usable? Now he's referring to the Slaptop Cajon video, the Meinl Slaptop Cajon, and he's asking if the bass response is comparable to a normal cajon. No, it's a very different sound. You're not going to get as low bass tone, but I always think of the Slaptop Cajon as a very different instrument. I wouldn't even consider it as like a normal cajon, other than the fact it's essentially a wooden box. They sound very different, and I would use them in different places. The next question is from a user called Creative Post Up, and he's asking, I have 2 snares in my cajon and I wonder how I could adjust them for a better sound. My sound is a little sharp right now. I want it to become a bit more loose. How could I adjust my cajon? Well, that all depends. There's sometimes like a little adjustment screw that you can use with an Allen wrench. It depends on the type of cajon that you have. I would just kind of like get in touch with the manufacturer and ask them. On string cajons, it is common that there would be a little screw that you can adjust. On snare cajons, there could be a screw. You might have to get your hand in the sound hole and kind of monkey around with it. Sometimes if I'm playing a flamenco cajon and I want less of the rattle, I actually take some tape and tape part of the strings, and you could maybe even do that with the snare, or you know, just kind of monkey around with it, and you know, it's usually quite a simple setup. But get in touch with the manufacturer first and see what's going on with the cajon that you have. Next question is from Jaster Frain, and they're asking, is it possible to use a pickup on the cajon? And if it is, what part of the cajon would you put it on? Now this is a really open kind of thing. There are a few different cajon pickups. I've used or tried some incredibly bad ones, I always keep coming back to the mic setup. I think the cajon, unless someone really puts some effort into developing something specifically engineered for the cajon, and I certainly haven't seen anything out there that comes up to par as yet, but send me something if it's out there. I'd love to try it out. I always keep coming back to the mic setup. I use a Beta 91 in my cajon live, and that's all I use live, and it gets all the frequencies I need, and I really like that. In a studio setup, I'd use maybe a couple of different mics as well, but there are pickups out there essentially, and I've mostly seen not great results from pickups. Some of them can tend to allow the cajon to just sound really weak, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, there are, and where, in regards to where to put it on the cajon, it's really just an experimental thing. I certainly wouldn't put it on the playing surface or the tapa. I would probably put it somewhere on the back near the sound hole or something like that, but it's a case of experimenting and finding the sound that you want from the pickup. So there's episode 2 of Ask Jennings. If you want to ask me anything at all, mostly about drums and cajons and such like, but you know, if you want to ask me about anything else, feel free, and I will answer the questions in video form. You can ask me by commenting on any of my videos on YouTube, or you can tweet me at Jennings Drums, and I look forward to getting all of your new questions. Till next time, have a good one.